Hey, yo, this is different. Now, there's some different level of trolling. Caleb Plant trolls Edgar Berlanga by purchasing the domain name edgarberlanga.com. Nasty work by Caleb Plant. The revenge tour continues. Now, I made this graphic. A lot of you guys seen it. If not, make sure you guys follow me on social media. It says Caleb Plant purchases edgarberlanga.com domain and sells his merchandise. So basically, he took the domain name and linked it to his landing page so he could sell his merchandise. And he's on the undercard of Canelo versus Berlanga. And just so you guys see, there's Edgar Berlanga, and it takes you to his fight. And also on the site, you can get to his merchandise. Now, per usual, I didn't tag the fighter because I think that's corny when a bunch of like media people start tagging a bunch of people and tagging the fighters. These are celebrities. They might not want to be involved in the tag or have people. So when somebody responds to a Boxing Ego post, just know Boxing Ego's reach is crazy because there's no tag. You guys can look at the post. There's no tags. I didn't reach out to Caleb Plant. I know Caleb Plant. I didn't send it to him or anything. And he's seen it some kind of way. Somebody DM'd him or sent this and he responded. And we'll look at what Caleb Plant said in my comment section. Caleb Plant said, I dropped that new revenge tour and made a light 20K in a day. Good looks, little bro. So he said he made 20K on merch, and he's obviously being facetious to Edgar Berlanga. So using his name and gobbling up that traffic, no diddy. Now, because I know that some people, they're going to be like, oh, I don't believe you. We'll do it like this. Typed in Edgar Berlanga, pasted it into the browser, and you see immediately you're greeted by CP, aka Caleb Plant, official site of the best story in boxing. Sign up for your exclusive, blase blah. So it takes you to the contact place, home. Let's see what home does. Look, Plant versus McCumbee. He got his YouTube channel with his revenge tour, so his videos, revenge tour. He got pictures of his child, his crib, his merchandise. This is crazy. He got the about section. So all this from typing in edgarberlanga.com. Now, I'm no spring chicken. I've been in this game. The reality is Caleb Plant has done this before. We're going to check out some of his merchandise. And make sure you guys type in edgarberlanga.com to get to Caleb Plant's stuff to cop some of his merch before it sells out. Right? All sales final, $60. And he got his looks. But this is not the first time Caleb's done this. He got the tracksuits. Caleb Plant also did this to David Benavidez, where he did the same thing and got the David Benavidez domain name, right? And that was when he was actually fighting David Benavidez. This time is a little bit different because he's on the same card as Berlanga. The two had an exchange of words. Caleb was in the crowd, Berlanga's on stage with Canelo, and then you had Caleb Plant who was trash talking him. Actually, Caleb was kind of minding his business, and I think Berlanga kind of brought him up and said that, he's going to do this, that, and the third to Canelo, and Caleb got knocked out, this guy in crowd, and he started pointing to him, and then that's when Caleb Plant stood up. Now, Caleb wasn't mic'd up because I think he was just enjoying the main event press conference part. So I didn't know what Caleb was saying back to him because you can't hear because he didn't have a microphone, wasn't mic'd up. But Canelo assured him, he said, "You think you're better than Caleb Plant? You think you have a higher ring IQ than Caleb Plant?" And he was just assured him, like, "Don't worry, Caleb, I got him." And then you seen Canelo and Caleb Plant also embrace and show love to each other. They've shared the same ring and fought each other. So there's, it's a gentleman's sport. So I like to see that. As far as Berlanga, I mean, he's never been at this level. He is bigger than Canelo. He does have power, but I fully expect Canelo to beat him. Canelo got like 60 fights, bro. And Berlanga, we've seen him get dropped by lackluster person that Billy Joe Saunders had already beat. And that's just what it is. I just don't see Berlanga being the one to defeat Canelo Alvarez. I think what Canelo said at the press conference made a lot of sense. Caleb, nicknamed Sweet Hands, he's 6'1". I think he's probably taller than Berlanga. I'd have to look at him side to side. Pause. And Caleb's a boxer. He thinks in there. And he did pretty good, but he still got stopped by Canelo Alvarez when they fought. So Berlanga, he kind of has one mode, in my opinion. He kind of has one mode, which is to try to throw combination. I just think Canelo's too seasoned. Canelo is super seasoned, a fighter. So it's going to be hard for someone like Berlanga. This is like such a major step up in caliber and such a major step up in class. Hard to just get something like that done overnight, right? Where you just go from, it's not a Rocky movie where you just go from not really being at that level, no experience. I think people sleep on experience as a pro. I think this is my opinion. I think people overrate amateur experience. Not saying amateur experience is not good. Of course it is, duh. But what I'm saying is I think they overrate it. Like when guys have 400 amateurs, 300 amateur fights and stuff, like that's cool, but that doesn't mean guaranteed that Lomachenko will be the greatest pro of all time or whoever the person is because they had that many amateurs. Different circuit, different scoring system. The judges looking at different things, completely different setup. So there's guys who didn't medal and they became great pros. Wilder was a bronze medalist, but he knocked out a gold medalist in Audley Harrison. So I think people tend to overstate the amateur side of things. And real talk, if Wilder would have fought AJ prime for prime, I think Wilder would have knocked out AJ. And that's another gold medalist. But, that's subjective because they didn't fight when they were both undefeated. But the point I'm making is I think people overstate the amateur experience and think that automatically translates to a good pro, which it doesn't. I mean, even Shakur Stevenson is having some backlash from the fans because his style, he doesn't know how to finish the job. He's winning, but he's kind of keeping the dead man hanging along to the point where Artem was able to recharge his battery and survive and actually get some things done after being badly hurt, and Shakur was dominating. So it just makes the overall performance a little bit less than. And, back to the Berlanga, he just doesn't have the pro level experience where I would have to favor him versus a guy like Canelo. Canelo started in Mexico and he was 15, but he learned on the job, and learning on the job is invaluable because here it's kind of like, let's say there was a police officer, right? And the police officer didn't do all this schooling and read a bunch of books, but he was in the field and he was with other detectives and he was chasing the Zodiac killer and had all these cases. That's going to be a treasure trove of knowledge just because you worked on the Zodiac killer case with this other famous detective, or you were hunting down to find out who the Night Stalker was or the Hillside Strangler or whatever. That real time, real life experience is different. And, Caleb Plant also has that because he sparred great guys, but as a pro, he's fought the Uzcategis, he's fought the Anthony, the Dog Durrells, and he's fought Canelo. But Berlanga, he's never fought anyone like this. And I know he says he'll knock out Caleb Plant, and he says when he was 17, he sparred him I mean, I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened in their sparring. But Caleb definitely got the best of him by buying his domain name and selling his product just to spite him and just to be petty. That's hilarious. And with him doing it to David Benavidez, this is really a 50 Cent move. I've seen 50 Cent do this when games start saying, G you not, and start doing the G you not. 50 Cent actually got the trademark for that. Or how he did Ja Rule and bought the first row of seats for the first 2 rows so it looked like his concert was empty. Things like that. This is definitely a 50 Cent type move. Respect to Caleb for being a showman and being petty and just having fun with it. The guy doesn't like you. He's talking crazy. And now you're making profit utilizing his name just to spite him. You know, I dig it. I would do some stuff like that. But as far as the Berlanga, it's surprising that, especially since he just did this to David Benavidez, it's surprising how many fighters have earned whatever because he was with Top Rank. Now he's with Eddie Hearn. So he's made probably some straight purses, and you don't even own your own domain name. Like, I own BOXINGEGO.com, and that's been the case. I've owned it pretty much since I started. So it's weird that you have celebrities who, you know, Edgar Berlanga always got these chains on and bust downs and Cubans and stuff. That's cool. That's flash though. You don't even own the rights to your name technically, and you let Sweet Hands Plant come and gaffle you. That's crazy. To me, that's crazy. Let me know if you think it's crazy that in 2024, you got fighters with a bunch of jewelry and earrings and, you know, wives, and the wifey got the Birkin bags and, you know, whatever, Vera Wang high heels, but you don't even own your own domain name. That just seems like one of the early orders of business that fighters should have in case they want to sell stuff or keep fans updated with their career. But fair play to Caleb Plant, smart move, funny stuff. Let me know what you guys think.